Here we have the current stock market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comments section below so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, we have the 1 hour price chart, and we can see that share prices have managed to show some spike highs, although there has been some whipsaw trading activity here, some choppy trading conditions, and we will be going over specifically each of the price levels that are outlined in this chart so that hopefully traders can identify some profitable strategies and positioning ideas for this stock going forward. So as we can see here, the share price itself did manage to break above this critical resistance zone that I have pointed out in prior videos. So essentially, I'm calling this, roughly $4.15. It's a bit of a strange asymmetrical double top formation because, as we can see here, the initial price high came in at 417, and then the following price high came in at 413. So these numbers don't exactly match up, but they're within 5 cents of each other, and they are close enough that this can still be considered to be a double top formation. As we can see here, share prices have since then moved quite sharply into the positive direction. We do need to sort of analyze this price movement here because there's a lot of fairly erratic and volatile trading action that's going on here. So we do need to really understand this current trend movement higher, this trend wave higher. So as things currently stand, we have seen prices spike all the way into new highs coming in at $4.20. So we can sort of mark that now on the price chart. As we can see here, this does break above the prior double top resistance zone, but at the same time, what we're seeing here is a very strong, long-bodied red candle. This is a very ominous trading candle, and as we can see here, it follows a spike high gapping formation within the candlestick price chart itself. So what this tells us is that ultimately, if prices do fall back into this territory, we're going to need to see this price gap filled. So essentially, what we can see here is a price gap that starts at roughly $3.97 and then extends to roughly just above the $4 mark. So there's not a huge price gap here, but it is interesting to note that clearly the momentum here and the sentiment for this stock was positive into the open of the session. It does seem that perhaps maybe some shorter term traders were buying on this recent dip. There's a lot that can be said about this recent price movement here, because as we know, like this was preceded by a fairly strong drop to the downside. And it was clear at that point that buyers were starting to step into the market, given the fact that we were starting to approach this very important $3.63 support zone. This is an area of support that we've talked about at length on this channel. If you'd like to see more information on that, you can look at the prior videos, but this goes back far in time. So it's not totally surprising that we did start to see buyers step into the market at this point and support prices at these lower levels. We didn't even really retest that prior low before we saw, sort of an upsurge in buying activity, very strong rally in share prices, and a major substantial increase in trading volumes that are showing in the positive direction. So, there was a lot going on here at one time. We were seeing prices kind of dramatically break lower. But it was clear that the market did find the stock to be at a discounted rate at that lower level, and many buyers did start to step in here. So more than once here, you're seeing price gaps in the upward direction. So you can sort of see one here, and then this more recent price move in here. As a result, in my view, what this mostly looks like to me is, a share price action that had reached low levels. Buyers start to enter into the market, seeing discounted prices, and then more than likely starting to take profits on this spike movement higher. So, in other words, like there's probably a lot of short-term trading activity that's going on within this short-term trading range here. So it's interesting because we will need to see whether or not these price movements will be able to sustain themselves over the longer term. But what this really shows you is that there is a lot of validity here to this 363 support level. I won't go back too far on the price chart to show the prior instances where this price level was tested in the past, but we can suffice it to say that This near-term test of 363 coming in during the August 8 trading session was not the first time that this price level was tested. So this is something that we've seen in the past with this stock. This is really not much of a surprise to see this. What might have been more of a surprise would have been to see this initial downside price movement. But then at the same time, you have to keep in mind the fact that this is more toward the middle of the week, and if you're familiar with the activities of the broader market, you'll know that Nvidia Corporation released its earnings report during the Wednesday trading session. So there was a lot of heightened volatility that was going on throughout the market. The stock benchmarks, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and then the entire technology sector was seeing selling pressure right around this time. So not totally surprising here to see a company like NIO or a stock like NIO start to fall victim to some of the selling pressure. Ultimately, we really only saw price lows coming in at roughly, it's really less than 30 cents, this entire price movement to the downside. So it looks significant on these shorter term time frames, but I don't really think that it's drastically significant when we view this chart history in a more long term fashion. So given the fact that we did see such a substantial price movement here in the positive direction, is a bit tempered by the fact that we saw a near-term failure right around 420. But you have to keep in mind, this does mean that the stock was able to break above that 415 resistance zone, and then all of the orders that were filled, all of the sell orders that were parked into that position have now been filled. So this does sort of open the direction here to some further price movement higher. As we explained previously, this $4.15 level was really a major key to the top side. So the real question here going into the close, and we're in the last 30 minutes of trading here. The real question is how much of this downward price movement will the stock be able to recover before we see a closing bar that starts to form on these price charts. As we know, it's a Friday trading session, so many traders start to sort of close up shop at that point and close positions. So it will be interesting to see whether or not stock prices are able to sort of drift higher, or if we see a drift lower into the close. Ultimately, what we would like to see would be a close above the 415 level. It's not clear that we're going to be able to get there at the moment, but we're very close to that price level. So the actual close here will be important to watch here for this stock. So here's the current market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.